Alright, hey there. Everyone from the group of death is dead. Football giants and fat-ass favorites France, Portugal, Netherlands, Germany crash out of Euro 2020. Now Italy, Belgium, England are now hot favorites to win. But we all know Denmark will win it for Eriksen. They have to do it, man. They have to do it. Alright, let me go through a few highlights from the first round of knockouts. Dubravka's own goal could not stand the test of time as Spanish goalkeeper Unai Simon scored an even more hilarious goal. It was just crazy. Now, this is him after scoring the goal. He was very happy. £1,000 million player, great Mbappe, finished his Euro campaign with 0 goals and a missed penalty. And our Paul the Octopus favorite player, £555 million Jadon Sancho, is yet to get a minute of play time for England. I think it's time for him to follow Laporte and copy his move to Germany now, because that's the way he's going to play. Alright, now Spain has scored 5 goals in back-to-back matches, and even Morata scored from a non-offside position, so he's getting now only 500 death threats every day from 5,000 from a day before. French reached the highest level of arrogance ever recorded in human history ever after Pogba scored the third brilliant goal, and then an hour later they crashed out of Euro. That's what happens. The final one is Czechs. The Czechs continued to show their bare naked hairy butts to our in-house pundits. Don't be fooled by his new name, Checkmate Paul. His real name is Paul the Octopus, or as the Czechs call him, Paul the Czech hater. Alright. And we have hot breaking news here, right? Just like Jalebi. After getting so many predictions wrong, Paul the Octopus was instantly offered a $100 million contract by ESPN. Now, Paul will also be given $10 million a year in bonuses if he continues to make terrible predictions, because ESPN loves terrible predictions and terrible pundits. That's how we have it. Alright, let's kick the baby. First match. In the very first match of the knockouts, Denmark destroyed Wales 4-0. Lal, I have a question now. France, Holland, Germany, Ronaldo, let's not call it Portugal, it is Ronaldo. Ronaldo is out, and Italy, Belgium and England surely aren't unbeatable. Can Denmark really repeat, Denmark can really repeat the miracle of 1992 when they beat mighty Germany to win Euros?
Firstly, what an exciting round of 16. I mean, oh my God, it's amazing. As I was saying, all bets are off now. It's just crazy, topsy-turvy. I mean, it's just been brilliant set of matches. I think coming to Denmark, what can I predict? I mean, I'm out of words now. I mean, every time you say something and the exact opposite happens, I take nothing for granted now. They can. I mean, who knows? I mean, they can repeat. But to be you're right. Italy, Belgium, and England are favorites. Luckily for England, one of Italy and Belgium will knock the other one out. So it's between Italy and Belgium, one of them, and England. Those two. I mean, logically, if logic prevails in the tournament, though, but it looks like it won't. So there might be a surprise, and Denmark can be the surprise boys.
Oh yeah, definitely. There is no logic. All bets are off. I mean, nothing matters right now, or whatever past reputation. So for the Netherlands and Czech match, which Netherlands lost, this podcast will be full of surprises. We don't even know what is. Okay, just let's get on with it. So before I ask you your views on this game between Czech and Holland, I just want to share this news which Czech national government has declared you their country's official enemy number 1, and you've been banned from ever visiting Czech Republic or even standing next to a Czech supporter in a game or ever. And by tomorrow morning, your neighborhood trees, I'm pretty sure there are lots of them, will be flooded with hate banners exactly like the ones that rumored Everton's new boss, Rafa Benitez, has been seeing around his neighborhood, and he's not very happy, and you'll also not be very happy. Alright, with that amazing news, Czechs definitely deserve to win this one, but De Ligt's 52nd minute red card really chopped Netherlands' balls. Now, what do you think of ESPN pundits? I personally would say that I agree with this comment, and this is what I also felt. What do you think about future pundits and your future colleagues claiming that Holland would have lost anyway as they were passive and tentative, and De Boer is responsible for the defeat even more than De Ligt's red card? And as we speak, De Boer has already resigned and he's no longer a Netherlands coach.
I mean, I will not badmouth my future colleagues, so let's not go there. You just spoke some numbers there that I'm going to get, so I'm not going to put that in jeopardy. But yeah, I mean, oh my God, I mean, Netherlands. I don't agree with that. I think it was De Ligt's red which completely turned the match on its head. In this match, there is a slight element of truth that they were not as fluent and fluid as probably in some of the matches that they played in the group stages. But I think De Ligt's red card was totally the match turning point, and I didn't see that coming. I don't think many people in the world saw that coming, except for the Czech fans. And I'm happy to admit I've been checkmate. You can see my name.
Check.
I'm not going to predict anything further. I don't know if they win the tournament. I'm already getting hate mails, so I'm not going to risk it. Go Czech Republic.
All right, let's support the Czechs. Just a yes or no answer. Were you okay with the red card?
Yes, it looked deliberate to me. He was fumbling. He had no other thing but to do something, and it looked. First reaction, it looked a red. Even in slow motions, it looked a red to me.
Well, fair enough. I think it's just unlucky, but yeah, fair enough. All right, moving on to Italy and Austria.
It was one of those brain fade moments, like Steve Smith. I think he borrowed that from Steve Smith. It was a brain fade moment for De Ligt.
I don't know. I really don't know. I just feel it's very difficult to say if it's completely brain fade or just he was falling down and just sometimes you just can't control yourself. Like I read a lot about lack of free will. It just kind of I don't know, it just happened. And because in cricket you have a lot of time. That is genuine brain fade. But this is just it just happens so quickly and he's been pushed down. So I'm just going to give him a little bit slack here. Cut him a little bit slack here. All right, so moving on to Italy versus Austria. This is not Australia. Italy were so close to be knocked out. Luckily, Arnautovic's, whose name I had forgotten another time, Arnautovic's 65th minute goal was ruled out for marginal offside. And it wasn't until Mancini gave his bench a look in that Italy looked like a team that's been unbeaten in 30 games. Now, again, your future pundits, friends, ESPN pundits were critical of Mancini to have waited till 84th minute to bring on Belotti and Chiesa. Both the extra time goals were scored by the Italian subs, so that's where they're coming from. And also Chiesa scored. What's your take, Lal, on this match in general? Italy's performance, Mancini's game plan, and if Italy can still be considered favourites in this roller coaster of a tournament?
Yeah, I think as we mentioned in our earlier episodes, I think Italy needed a wake-up call. No team can just win a tournament in a swashbuckling manner, and this was, a shake-up moment for Italy. So I'm happy that it happened the way it did, and Italians came out unscathed. And I agree partially with my future colleagues. Chiesa should have started. If you ask me, I think Chiesa should have started. If not, Mancini should have been more proactive and gotten him on in the, probably in the 60th minute. I mean, after an hour. He waited too long, that's true. He was tentative. There was for God's sake, they were the most informed team coming into the last 16, right? They were the most impressive team out of the group stages, but they didn't behave like one. They were tentative in the match. And they were favourites anyways against Austria. No, taking nothing away from the Austrians, but yeah, Chiesa should have been. I don't know. I hope next match he starts, and we see a different approach by Mancini.
All right, fair enough. So let's talk about Belgium and Portugal. Now, I thought this was a very tactical game. Martinez's Belgium simply parked the bus after taking the lead in the 42nd minute and then played on the counter, which reminded me a lot of Mourinho and how Manchester United plays. Portugal had 23 shots against Belgium 6. Now Hazard got injured for the 47th time since retiring, moving to Real Madrid. And but the bigger concern is obviously De Bruyne's injury. He's definitely not going to play against Italy in the next game, so that is definitely a bother. Now, what did you make of Belgium's performance here and Martinez's tactics, De Bruyne's injuries impact on Belgium's chances against Italy in the quarterfinals?
Oh, huge. De Bruyne is huge. I think if he is out, then it tips the scales are tipped in the favor of the Italians.
Oh, he's definitely out. That I've read that he's not going to be ready for next. They're expecting him to be back for semis, but
that's a big blow.
Not going to be ready.
That's a massive blow. Okay, but coming to this particular match, right? I think it was a great tactical match, as you rightly said. And the one thing that I was really impressed with Belgium was suddenly they have a different gear, a different plan to fall back to in case things are not going their way. It proves to me that they have learned from the last World Cup and the Euros before that. So I think that was heartening to see. Portugal, on the other hand, although they lost, I think they won't be too disappointed because it was not for a lack of effort or, as you said, right, 20 odd chances on goal. It's just that they didn't have the finishing edge. They could have easily scored one of those chances, and then who knows, the game goes into extra time, and then anything can happen. But it was a fair result, and I'm happy that Belgium and Martinez are more shrewd and tactically more shrewd against bigger teams. This bodes well for them if in case they make the final.
And even the next match, obviously.
Yeah.
Even with Italy, because Italy is also going to be dramatic.
Yeah.
All right. Now, then the best games happened yesterday, day before. First one of them was Spain versus Croatia. Now, I'll be really honest here that I sleep early these days, and because I have to run like 10-15 kilometers in the morning. This match started at 9:30 as usual. I fell asleep during the game, not because I was bored. I was just getting tired. When I woke up in between, Spain was 3-1 up, and like any dumb fuck human, I thought the game was over. So I shut my laptop and I just fall asleep properly. I wake up in the morning. So what I've been doing is like I'm waking up in the morning and I'm watching the rerun. I'm not watching highlights. So I don't know the scores. So I watched the first I watched the whole France, Switzerland, and then I watched Croatia, Spain. Oh my God. Like while I was sleeping, how can two fucking amazing matches take place? It was just crazy. Fortunately, I did not know the score, so I still enjoyed it, but it's still somehow psychologically not the same, but I'm still happy that I watched it. Let's talk about Croatia-Spain match first. Now, as I already mentioned earlier, that Spain goalie Unai Simon, not Unai Emery, scored a mind-numbingly memorable own goal, though it's been officially credited to Pedri for some reason. I don't know what the hell is wrong with him. That even outshined Dubravka's beautiful own goal against Spain. Now, Spain hits back with 3 unanswered goals. Then every idiot, including me, thinks, this is over. Croatia scores twice in Fergie time. And with the momentum shifting to Croatia, everybody thinks now Croatia is going to win. Spain comes back, turns the table, scores twice in extra time, and Morata scores an extreme, complete screamer. Then he goes completely crazy. Now, what the game, man. What a game. So even our producer director Bikram loved it more than I love licking chocolates off the walls. Any walls. So how was did you watch it live and were you working? What was happening?
It was mind numbing. For me, it's the other way around. It's my work day. So I can't really watch full 90 minutes of the match. I try and get a peek of what's going on every few minutes. But I also then catch up on highlights or reruns later in the day. But I was, you're right. Every 2 minutes I was checking, and it was just very distracting. Let me tell you that way. Those two matches on that day were amazing. I think these two matches will be remembered for a long time. Spain, when Morata scores, you know that now the tide is turning for Spain. Even Morata scored. So I think this is brilliant. Spain has gone under the radar, and now with the big teams knocked out, you never know. The surprises may continue. And they are not a bad team. As we said even in the preview, right? If Morata is the lead striker, that's always going to be their Achilles heel. But he scored. Who knows? This can be a turning point for Spain, in the tournament. And all credit to Croatia for fighting till the end. Man to man, Spain do have more talent, but I think Croatia showed great heart, determination, everything that the human story, human side of sport is what Croatia, I think, showed.
Yeah, I mean, when I was watching we'll come back to the French game, but one thing I noticed at the beginning, like Croatia sort of believed that they are the inferior side, so they were like, we will defend. Switzerland did not do that. We'll come back to that. I just wanted to mention it because I'll probably not say it then. And this game, in the first podcast we did on the Euro, I mentioned that they don't have that amazing striker of like Ronaldo or somebody of that ilk. But we said because they're going to play tiki-taka, it's going to be literally boring. But if they come together, then everybody ends up scoring. So they can actually score like tons of goals, just the way they did against Germany. And then once they go on fire, once everything works, the system works, it just looks like they always have the ball and they're constantly scoring. So which happened in the last two matches. And going by the last match, they really look like the real deal. And I personally have soft spot for Enrique. I just love him. Last time he showed up as completely casual. I think he was going for like a drinks or something. He's wearing all these sneakers and his tight jeans.
Wearing denims,
He's 55 years old. He's like chilling. Just like nobody dressed up. So either you dress down like you wear raincoats, or you wear tracks, or you just completely wear suits and everything. This guy is just he's just going to like a casual like a dinner, or like going to like work these days. So which I really like. So, and yeah, I am like, again, there's no point saying who's going to win, but yeah, I have enjoyed Spain's last two games, and their tiki-taka did not look boring as it did in the first two games because they were not able to score. But now floodgates have opened, as I may say. Let's move on to the sixth game, France versus Switzerland, which ended 3-3. In the extra time, moved to the extra time, then eventually everybody knows Switzerland won. So Switzerland knocked out the world champions here. This is by far the biggest upset in the Euros, which has had so many upsets, but a lot more than that. I mean, it was such a cracking match for all the neutrals. Totally enjoyed it. Switzerland takes the lead, then gets a penalty to make it 2-2, misses the damn penalty. France find their mojo back, scored thrice. Amazing goals. Like, game over, baby. No. It's never over, as they say, till the fat lady sings. And Swiss come back from nowhere and they scored twice. Again, the same, almost like identical to the previous match was happening a couple of hours earlier in Fergie time. And then no goals in the extra time. Then it's penalties. First 9 penalties, everybody hits the target, and great Mbappe steps up. He's like looking fucking confident. Boom! Swiss goalie Sommer saves the shot, and France are out of the Euros. I mean, France and Mbappe will never forget this defeat, man, no matter what happens. This match was totally unreal, magical. Boys, Swiss deserve to go through, but if we have learned anything in this Euros, that if you don't even dare count anyone out, because just because they're not footballing powerhouses, anything is possible. Please tell me all your feelings about this incredible match, and how much was French arrogance, as people have been talking about, responsible for this defeat? Because I do believe there was arrogance. There was arrogance, and I've seen this arrogance before as well, but yesterday it really dug their grave. But yeah, your opinion.
Yeah, I think firstly on the match, oh my god, I don't have any words. I was just, I don't have words to describe. Oh, this was just unreal. Switzerland putting in a performance of a lifetime against the French. I think this is the first time the Swiss have reached the quarters, if I'm not wrong. So arguably
in the long time, I don't know, but yeah, they've been talking. It's been Achilles' heel, the pre-quarterfinals.
Yeah. So I think this would arguably the biggest match for them in decades. If not longer. So I mean, and so coming to what you said, right? Arrogance. I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't be that critical. I think complacency, I would use the word complacent, taking it light. I mean, arrogance, again, choice of words, but I would call it complacency. They took them lightly, thinking that it would be an easy pass. So in the first half, they got shook up with that first goal and that penalty. Oh my God. If it would have been 2-0, then it wouldn't have probably reached who knows? You never know, the last 10 goals in the tournament. But that spurred them on. And then they changed gears, and suddenly they were 3-1. And Pogba, the most consistent player in the French squad for all of the 4 matches. Everyone has been up and down. And within the matches also, they've been up and down. Pogba has been the top of his game and the most consistent player. He deserved that goal. And then, like, it was done, right? No one had Swiss had no right to come back after that against the world champions, and they did. And I don't know what will happen to Mbappe's confidence. He's a young guy. He's probably 21, 22.
22.
And it must be devastating. I hope he comes back stronger. He's a great talent. I just feel sorry for him. I don't feel sorry for the French, because Swiss, hats off to the Swiss. They deserved going through after that performance. But yeah, I just want Mbappe to, put this behind and start with a clean slate. There's a World Cup next year. That could be his redeeming chance.
Yeah, I mean, a choice of words, arrogance, complacency, but I think they're interrelated. Now, also, if you remember that what happened with Spain, almost identical thing happened. Croatia comes back, but then even in extra time, French could not find the gear, which Spain did, right? So after they scored, like I'm just saying psychologically, French do know they're superior than these things. And when you score those 3 goals and after saving the penalty, somehow in their mind, they already won the game. And that's something you never do. In fact, if you see one of the ESPN pundits, Frank Leboeuf, he said the same thing had happened, I think, in 1974 or something like that. And he used to play in 90s. He said, we always remember the Germans, again, it's the Germans, that they were 3-1 up against Germany. Germany comes back, score 2 goals, takes it to extra time, eventually, I think, beat them in penalties or whatever. So he said, we know this thing, so we never ever tell ourselves it's over. But after Pogba scored that, literally amazing, because he had like this much, like a postage stamp of a place to score the goal, and he gets that. And then after, he does this dance, all the creepy dancing. Then after that, somehow, I think in their mind, they just felt that it was over. And they're definitely going to win it. And that's something complacency can never come in any fucking team ever in the history. That's why the coach or whatever the team, I blame both the coach and the team that how did that even come in? Because
I have a question for you. I have a question for you. Do you think they'll sack, or Deschamps deserves to be sacked and Zidane comes in? What's your view on that?
I have not thought about this thing. I just don't see it coming though. It has to be completely on the dynamic, what is happening in the French team. But if you just ask me because you never know what happens inside, right? And I've not heard anything about it. But it will be, let me just say, ridiculous. Although football is ridiculous, anything is possible. But it'll be ridiculous to sack Deschamps now, who's done extremely well. I mean, this is as good as we have talked about that in football. Winning something is literally impossible. He went to the finals. Then this is a screw up, but this is what we expected it happens. When you're so hot favorite, something or other will go wrong. And when they were super hot favorite, if it makes sense, go for it. But if you try to sack him, this is your fucking fault and you don't deserve to be in the team, I don't see it. I don't see it. In fact, in my personal opinion, I would definitely want him, unless something is broken in the squad, which is not. I saw his body language also. He seemed pretty cool about it. And he should finish his tenure. I don't know how long the contract is, but the World Cup should be his. And I would feel it will be the right deal, because it's not like Zidane has experience coaching a national team or something. So it's sacking will not be a good idea. If Deschamps doesn't want to, anyway, short answer is I would want Deschamps to continue, and this will be redemption for him and Mbappe and rest everybody. It'll be a very good World Cup, and he's pragmatic. I don't really like his style, but I think he totally deserves it, no doubt about that.
Fair enough.
I have a question.
A director is also talking now. What is happening here? That's a director. He's in the background.
Yeah. So hi. So I wanted to ask why Pogba plays so well for France and not so great for Man U.
Yeah, ask that. I mean, that's what, a $90 million question or $100 million question for United. I think the simple answer is he plays with a better set of players. He first of all, his position is in the center of the park. He's one of the best passers, 30, 40, 50 yard passing. He is one of the best. He has to be in the center of the park, and he needs a defensive midfielder to cover. Sometimes he loses the ball and doesn't track back. He's not defensively the best. So if with United, unfortunately, Fred and Matic, or Fred and McTominay, are both of them combined are not good enough as Kante. the job Kante does. That would be my 2 cents here. But otherwise, I think somehow he looks more turned on and he's more passionate about playing for France than United. That's for sure. That shows in his body language. But just in sheer performances, I think you need a guy like Kante to play alongside Pogba in the center of the park for him to really show all his skills.
So 2 things. N'Golo Kante is like the best defensive midfielder ever right now at this stage. So what he was trying to say, even including both Fred and McTominay, he's still better than both of them. So that definitely helps. Also, he's obviously much more scared of Didier Deschamps than he's of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because nobody's scared of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Or Mourinho.
Like literally nobody.
No, I mean, he was not that he was playing well for Mourinho. So it's less.
No, but they had a fight, right? That's why. Ole doesn't even if he doesn't play well for Mourinho say, go sit on the bench. Fuck off. Come on. But with this guy, do you really think he can get away with stuff from Didier Deschamps? And also the fact that he knows that he doesn't play well for United. In fact, he's telling himself, I need to play better here and show everybody that I'm a genuinely good player.
Yeah.
So, and French team, come on, man. I mean, they lost here, but come on, even Bikram knows. Bikram was telling me look at this team, man. People coming off the bench, man. It's crazy. It's crazy players coming off the bench.
Bikram's voice felt like it was God asking the question. Suddenly, out of nowhere, I have a question. I thought you have God coming into the podcast.
I was like, what is happening here? What is happening? So I've asked him to ask question, but I think he didn't ask, and he finally decided today is the right time to ask. And he loves Paul Pogba. He has posters of Paul Pogba in the washroom. So, and very objectionable clothing Pogba is wearing. Not only just objectionable hair. Oh, people like me talking about objectionable hair? Come on, and Pogba is still worse. All right. So, if Bikram is satisfied, we'll move on to the next one. A very heartbreaking match for all 3 of us, because we love England, but somehow we just have heart for Germany, and it was a very weird way for Joachim Low to go away. Now, I had written, I was watching the match and I was writing notes, and the 67 minute, I remember Gordon fucking Pickford, I don't know how on earth he stopped that bullet from Kai Havertz. It would have broken my hand completely. Then Werner still can't score, not even from offside this time. Werner was replaced by Gnabry in the 67 minute, and Saka was replaced by Grealish, and I think that kind of tilted it a little bit in, not that because Saka wasn't playing well, but something else happened. And 75 minute, it was brilliant from Sterling, who's gotten a lot of stick. How he shuffles back onside. If you watch it, he was offside, then he comes back onside and then gets in the position, then scores a brilliant goal. What a good team goal. But how on earth, right after that, I think within 2-3 minutes, Muller missed an open goal. He would have pretty much scored 9 out of 10 times. And then 86 minute, it had to happen, right? Harry fucking Kane scores, and then it's 2-0 and Germany are definitely out. Now, Lal, I gotta give it to England. I have a lot of questions for this thing. Sure, Germany did not take their chances and Muller missed an open goal. England definitely deserved the victory. I don't like the Southgate's plan. Too pragmatic for me. But do you reckon that Southgate got lucky with pragmatic tactics, or pragmatism is what wins you Euro and World Cups, which we have seen? And is it really coming home, as my name says?
So, I think lots to unpack there. I think I'll take your last question first. Southgate did get lucky, but at the same time, pragmatism do win major tournaments. Look at Portugal in 2016. That's the biggest example, or the most latest example, of how pragmatic
every
football
time
wins you. Yeah. So
since Greece in 2004. Yeah.
So I think it's a good formula. But I mean, I don't like it, especially given the talent that England have. I don't like Southgate's tactic. He got lucky. First of all, why did Germany pick Timo Werner? Why not Gnabry? Werner can't score. If you give him an open goal 5 yards out, tap in, he'll still miss it. That's the kind of form he's in. England would have loved to see him on this, team sheet and great. One guy we have to, not worry about. So I'm a little bit perplexed as to why he started instead of Gnabry. And looking at the team sheet, I thought, oh my God, Southgate, if England lose, he is going to get so much stick by sticking in. He was playing with almost 7 defenders, right?
He said that on the interview after that, by the way, that he used the word he'll be dead if he did not work.
And he deserved to be. If Muller had scored and equalized and somehow whatever,
that's what Germany does all the time, right?
Yeah, and that was the turning point. The Muller should have scored that, and that would have completely changed the momentum of the game. And on England's side, if this was the tactic that park the bus, be it practical till 70 minutes, and then I'll bring Grealish on and do it. I just don't get it. Why do you take that risk? If in the first 70 minutes, if Germans were ahead and you were under pressure in a knockout match against 45,000 fans in Wembley, sometimes that tactic may not work. Grealish can come on, but no one scores. So it was risky business. I hope he now with the next match he kind of at least doesn't play with 7 defenders. I was kind of bored with 6. He went a step further and put in one more defensive guy on the field. But yeah, it may be coming home. Finally.
Yeah, I think it looks like, after every match we'll be saying that it's coming home. It's been coming home since 1966.
66, yeah.
So yeah, it's been coming home since then, right? All right, so moving on to the final game, it again did not disappoint. Ukraine versus Sweden. Ukraine finally goes in 2-1. For whatever reason, in my notes I've written 4-0 because that's the standard. When I don't have the scores, I just write 4-0. Okay, so you fix the notes. Now, you can talk about anything in this match that you feel like. I don't have specific questions, but I have one specific question for you, and I'm very serious about this. Now, how on earth, this is on the red card, how on earth Danielson is given a fucking red card when he got the ball clean, completely clean, and there was a lot of distance between him, the ball also, and the other player running into him. He got it clean as a whistle, and that moron Olsen runs into Danielson's follow-through. There's nothing Danielson can do about his follow-through, but Olsen can see, because Danielson is going for the ball, Olsen can see Danielson will reach early, supremely early, fucking 3 seconds early, and then he still keeps running and smashes into Danielson's cleats, spikes. And I think Dennis Olsen deserves a red card for doing something so stupid and trying to injure himself, and also needs to made to stay with Charlie fucking Sheen for a week in a 4x4 prison cell, because then only he'll learn his lesson. You've been a science student and you were a science guy. I'm not a science guy, but what's Danielson can do about his follow through? He can't do anything about it. And the other person can see it. Why are you running into him? And then he gets a red card? I just don't get it. And then that's the reason why these people lose eventually.
Yeah, I think that's the talking point of the match. But I think what the ref saw was his studs were facing up. No matter what, even if it's a 50-50 challenge that both players had equal chance of making it and just someone reached earlier and follow through, was bad. But the studs were showing. And that was kind of what made the ref issue a red card. If you notice, in real time, he gave a yellow. He was called by VAR and to check. And of course, in slow motion, it looks worse than what it is actually in real time. So, but unfortunately, he didn't have enough to overturn VAR, because the studs were showing, and sometimes you have to go. He went by the book. His earlier instinct was right to issue a yellow. It definitely was a yellow. So I would give the benefit of doubt to the ref. He was under tremendous pressure. He was asked by VAR to change it, and when the studs are showing, it's sometimes it's out of his hands to change it. So that. Well,
I'm completely okay with the decision, because the moment it goes to VAR, he doesn't have a choice, because what he's going to do, because he has to be consistent and going by the book here. I just know that a fact as a genuine football player. I have never played football, but science and football, I've listened to this topic a lot. There is he goes for the ball. It's not 50-50. This guy is this far away and he gets the ball clean and square. That guy keeps running. That guy can make it, because he's getting a red card because that guy makes the decision to not stop running. That's something I just don't understand. Because if it's the other way around and the other guy clatters into him, he doesn't get a red card. It's just, because if you're close to if it's too close and he's just he can see the ball is there and leg is there, but the ball was here and leg was here. And now they're saying he should know that this guy's coming. That's not possible. That's bullshit.
Yeah, football, unfortunately, people have forgotten. Modern football has forgotten that football is a contact sport. Nowadays, even if a feather touch and someone falls down, it's a foul or whatever. like touching someone and someone falls and the VAR says, okay, there was a touch. I mean, what? I mean, unfortunately, that's the current football world that we live in. And these things, I think, I don't know how will we be able to stamp these things out. But anyways, I think if we move beyond this point, I think one thing is I just love watching Ukraine in this tournament. I was telling you in the preview of the tournament, right? Maybe their talisman Shevchenko might be able to, do something miraculous.
The coach.
Yeah, the coach. Yarmolenko, Yaremchuk, and Zinchenko. I think I just love these three guys, and especially the partnership between Yarmolenko and Yaremchuk. It's going to be an interesting match against England because they also Ukraine also set up three. They play back three, and these three guys up front. Of course, Zinchenko on the wing. It's just going to be fun, and they never back down. Ukraine. They will go down with a fight, even if they go down. So, yeah, it's going to be really interesting.
All right. So, you already kind of got into your favorite section right now because it's just going to make everybody look like an idiot. So, the quarterfinals, can you just quickly pick between the 4 quarterfinals? Let's pick from quickly Switzerland and Spain without much yes or no. One team.
Oh, my God.
Or you can also say winner and also say penalties or whatever you want to say. But those are the only 2 things I'm looking for at the moment.
Spain.
All right.
I would say
clean, regular time.
Yes, regular time.
All right, let's stick to that. Belgium versus Italy.
I would have said Belgium if De Bruyne was playing, but since he's not playing, I think it may go into extra time, and somehow I still have a feeling that Belgium might nick it in extra time. Even without De Bruyne. Extra
time, Belgium. All right. Czech Republic versus Denmark. The great Denmark.
Remember Czech supporters. I am saying Czech Republic. Czech Republic will win.
Oh, they're not happy. They're like, don't pick Czech. Don't pick Czech.
Oh my God.
This is how we live. They might jinx them. Oh, they're hating you already.
There's no winning here, right? I'm going to get death threats anyways.
Oh yeah. There's no winning for you. It's like a dead end. It's like between a rock and a really hard place. So you're stuck there. All right. Let's talk about the final game between England and Ukraine, which you kind of already touched upon. So you think Ukraine? Yeah, come on.
I think it'll be a close match. It'll be won by not a margin of a goal. And okay, if England concede, then Ukraine will win. So if Ukraine scores the first goal, then Ukraine goes through. If England scores the first goal, then England wins. Whoever scores the first goal in that match will win.
I never like that answer. It's like, that's what exactly the ESPN pundit saying. If Scotland scored first, they go, hey, come on, man. Of course, they'll come through.
I'm practicing for my new job, man.
Oh yeah, fair enough. That's fair enough. So all right, I really like this podcast, but obviously nothing like the matches. But the matches made this podcast really good. This podcast is delayed from the morning till evening and from night to morning for Lal. But finally it's done. So let's see what happens. Let's see more incorrect predictions. Thank you for your time again. And we also had a question from our director, producer, and overlord. And hopefully we gave him a sufficient answer at least. Sufficient is the only biggest word I'll use here, not efficient. So yeah, take care. And if you like and subscribe and keep watching, and we're going to keep watching Euro. And by the way, Copa is also happening, but nobody cares. So, but yeah, hopefully Argentina can win. Jinx them again. I jinx them. Although Messi is doing very well. All right. Take care. Have a good evening.
All right.
Bye-bye now.
Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.